To get in, and here we go. Good morning, everybody. We're just before the top of the hour, so I'm going to give everybody another minute or two to get in if they haven't joined already, and we will start right at about 11 a.m. All right, we've reached 11 a.m., so we're going to go ahead and get started with our webinar this morning. I will be introducing and emceeing our webinar this morning. Eptura and TD SYNNEX Public Sector, we'd like to welcome you to our webinar on empowering federal agencies, Archibus and the future of facility management. I'm Jeff Shad, campaign manager with TD SYNNEX Public Sector, and I'm going to kick things off briefly before I turn it over to Michael Willett, federal team lead for Eptura. Who is TD SYNNEX Public Sector? While some of you may recognize us by our former name, DLT Solutions, TD SYNNEX Public Sector is the premier government solutions aggregator. We specialize in understanding and addressing the IT needs and challenges of the U.S. federal, state, local, education, and healthcare markets. Our mission is to simplify processes and remove barriers for independent infrastructure and software vendors, federal systems integrators, and value-added resellers doing business in the U.S. public sector. As technology evolves and digital transformation becomes increasingly necessary, government agencies are looking for ways to improve productivity and decrease operational costs. Our digital design solutions include building information modeling, spatial planning tools, asset management platforms, simulation software, and more. These tools help public sector organizations design and build infrastructure, secure and share data, manufacture products, manage properties and workforces, and optimize design and manufacturing workflows for better results. So today, we are thrilled to present our webinar on empowering federal agencies, Archibus and the future of facility management. This session will provide a comprehensive update on the FedRAMP status of Archibus, ensuring the highest level of security and data protection for federal government agencies. We're going to explore how Archibus can help manage and optimize your space, streamline reservations, and drive cost savings. This webinar will demonstrate how Archibus is poised to become the standard across federal government, offering innovative worktech solutions that deliver immediate value and meet all federal security requirements. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the chat feature and we'll be sure to address them either during the webinar or in the Q&A immediately following. Now, let's dive into today's webinar. And to go over the agenda briefly, we're going to go through a welcome. Michael Willett will talk about the federal government moving to the cloud, Eptura's FedRAMP and process designation, and shaping the workplace of the future. Now I'd like to introduce Michael Willett with Archibus.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah, thank you. Great introduction and great introduction to the agenda. As Jeff said, I'm Michael Willett. I'm the federal team lead or director of federal practice for Eptura. So I, with this group that you see on the screen, help to manage our federal practice, our customers, our channel partners, et cetera. So I wanted to throw this up there just to put a face to the name. You may have heard some of these names in the past, but this is our core leadership team that supports our federal practice and serves the federal sector. Next, I thought I'd start here with a little bit about how we got here, right? A brief history of Eptura, as it were, as Eptura is actually doesn't have a long history. It's a newly formed company that grew out of a lot of mergers and acquisitions and investment. So, you likely know the Archibus brand quite well. It's been in this marketplace, in the federal marketplace, for more than 30 years. Started back in around 1982. In 2018, there was a significant desire to build a premier worktech solutions company in this marketplace, and it began with Archibus, the company, merging with other industry leaders in the worktech space, which has ultimately become Eptura through significant investment and acquisitions with the help of JMI, Thoma Bravo, and even Autodesk, which you don't see as a logo there on the screen. In 2022, we launched and rebranded the company as Eptura. So Archibus now, if you're familiar with the Archibus brand, Archibus is now a product of Eptura and not the overall company. So at the same time that we launched that Eptura brand, earlier in the year, actually, we also began the FedRAMP journey with Archibus in earnest. It took a long time to get to that point of launching into FedRAMP with Archibus, but 2022 is really when it all kind of kicked off officially. So why take this on? Well, there's lots and lots of stats out there. I'm going to highlight a few of them here. According to recent data from IDC, the MaturityScape survey, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not, but 49% of respondents state that flexible work models will remain an embedded part of accepted work practice going forward. This indicates a significant shift in how organizations are approaching work, emphasizing the importance of flexibility and adaptability in our work environments, right? And from our own research in the Eptura Workplace Index, we can send out a link to that if you don't have access to it already. We're happy to. But 39% of decision makers feel they have too much real estate for reframed hybrid work teams. 39%, that's significant. Suggests that as a hybrid work becomes more prevalent, organizations are reevaluating their real estate needs, potentially leading to downsizing or repurposing of office space, or simply just even selling them off. You're all familiar with Verdantix. In their real estate assessment survey, they found that 64% of respondents indicated that this shortage is having a moderate to significant impact on their real estate strategy. This highlights the need for skilled professionals in facility management to effectively manage and optimize real estate assets. There's just a huge skills shortage out there. And also, Gartner, they always like to talk about platforms. So they cited a shift to platforms. They cited a substantial 70% of digital workers use between 6 and 25 applications at work, underscoring the complexity of this digital work environment that we work in every day, and the need for efficient integration and management of these tools to enhance, productivity. These are just a few of the, probably thousands, industry insights that provide a clear picture of the current trends and challenges in our work practices and real estate strategies every day. Embracing flexible work models, reevaluating real estate needs, addressing the FM skills shortage, and managing, your digital tools effectively is clearly going to become crucial for success of any agency, moving forward. So. To that, the U.S. federal government consistently struggles with these challenges and more. And with 371 million square feet under management just at GSA alone, and only a 25% utilization rate across that, U.S. federal government manages one of the largest real estate portfolios in the world. I believe GSA actually holds single-handedly the largest in the world. So addressing these challenges systematically could help with management in a number of arenas. Efficiency and cost reduction, streamlining those operations to reduce cost and improve efficiency. Sustainability is a big buzzword these days. So implementing green building practices, reducing your carbon footprint, not only makes you feel good about what you're doing for the environment, but it also does impact efficiency and impacts cost reductions across your portfolio. Space utilization is probably prime and key in most everybody's mind today. So maximizing, the use of available space across your portfolio systematically avoids unnecessary expenses and expenditures. We've seen that happen dozens and dozens and dozens of times. Compliance and risk management. This is not only from a security perspective, but many, many other compliance regulations are out there that organizations need to comply with every single day. So ensuring all your properties comply with federal regulations and manages that risk effectively is going to be paramount to success going forward. And how do you do that? You do it with data-driven decision making, leveraging those systems that we were just talking about between 6 and 25, apparently. Leverage those systems and the data that comes out of them to help you make informed decisions about your property, your investments, your real estate, your space, your assets, et cetera. So Archibus, again, I assume you know the name Archibus by Eptura now. We've built that to meet these, demands. We have at Eptura globally over 600 government customers. 63% of those 600 are in the U.S. and based on U.S. agencies. And 80% of those are actually the top 10 federal governments by employees, by number of employees. Name dropping a little bit, U.S. Navy, U.S. Air Force, the VA, Department of Homeland Security, National Institutes of Health, USDA, NOAA, and Department of Transportation just come off the top of my head as longtime users of Archibus to manage their systems and portfolios. Now, let's talk a little bit about cloud and this shift to the cloud. In 2019, 53% of government agencies were actually either using or migrating to the cloud in some fashion. 2019 was relatively early in the life cycle of cloud, believe it or not. And then, reflectively across, 6 years, now in 2024, 85% are moving to what is now called Cloud Smart and Gen AI. Cloud Smart is effectively the similar or same cloud first type approach and driving. So government agencies are driving toward that Cloud Smart and generative AI approach in 2024. In 2023, Deltek indicated federal government spending was about $12.5 billion on cloud technology. In 2024, we're at about 15.9 billion, and the expectation is that by 2027, we're going to be at about 23.5 billion in spend across the federal space. So you can see that there's a significant adoption of cloud technologies going forward in this marketplace. Now, don't worry. Look, I know this is a little bit of an eye chart, but I'm not going to read all the bullets on this timeline. But instead, I wanted to highlight a couple of things here. First is the fact that federal government has long seen the value of cloud solutions as far back as 2007, when that first publication by OMB came out, to today, where advancements in technology and AI are now becoming a conversation as part of cloud solutions. Also want to highlight the notion that as time and technology and security concerns advance, so did the language coming out of the U.S. federal leaders. You'll note more and more mandates and executive orders as time moves on. To me, this indicates a strong backing in the migration to cloud technologies due to the core value that they provide to various agencies. And FedRAMP, obviously, the introduction of FedRAMP as a requirement shores that up. So why the move to cloud and SaaS? Cloud service providers, ensure or attempts to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability rather of systems and data as guaranteed by contract. Additionally, the cloud service provider is responsible for providing and maintaining all necessary infrastructure, which saves the agency time, resources, and ultimately dollars. Improved and efficient operations. Customers can use the available tools and capabilities or fully adopt technology advancements to streamline their operations in the cloud. Embracing these options can significantly enhance efficiency and drive innovation, making it an exciting opportunity, honestly, for growth and improvement within any agency. Approved cloud service providers are fully aligned with NIST cybersecurity frameworks, the CSF, if you're not familiar with that term, and offer comprehensive security tools, i.e. FedRAMP, and services to protect your systems and data. This alignment ensures robust security measures, giving you peace of mind, about the safety and security of all of your digital assets, and a key reason, obviously, for FedRAMP. Just foot stomping on that a little bit, we put together this just a little chart about looking at the differences really between an on-premise solution and a cloud or FedRAMP solution, right? So whenever we have new features, on-prem solutions generally get updated on major releases, and sometimes it advances to not every major release, but every second major release or third major release, depending on funding and availability of staff and resources to apply those upgrades. In the cloud environment, and then this will be inclusive of our FedRAMP environment too, that is continuous deployment, right? That's the same for bug patches or patches to the software. Not all software is perfect. I'd love to tell you that ours is, but not all software is perfect, and sometimes there are bugs that need to get squashed. If you're in an on-prem solution, then generally those are done on upgrade or they're done as some secondary effort. Again, with cloud and in FedRAMP, it's part of the continuous deployment strategy. Uptime on-prem can be vulnerable, to uptime percentages. Cloud and FedRAMP has a significant number of redundancy to it, and your uptime is going to be at 99.5% plus all the time. Security. So there's a lot that goes into security, right? Security is vulnerability management, penetration testing, all those things that are listed there on the left. In an on-prem environment, somebody has to manage those. It's a multi-platform approach. It's high cost of ownership at that point. And it's significant time to consume and manage all of those security requirements. With FedRAMP, it's native. It's native to that cloud experience. All of those security controls are embedded within FedRAMP. And your internal staff and resources don't have to worry about managing it. Just the infrastructure itself, operating systems, servers, backup and disaster recovery, patch management, application management. On an on-prem environment, you're responsible for all of that. It's time consuming, incredibly high cost of ownership there. And again, in FedRAMP or in cloud, it's native to your cloud experience. And then liability, this is a big one, right? Obviously high risk on-prem. So that risk in a cloud or FedRAMP environment gets transferred to the provider. The provider is the sole ones that are responsible for that environment, the security, the infrastructure, et cetera. So lots of value just in that one slide. So all that said, where are we today, right? Eptura has recently secured the FedRAMP in-process designation for Archibus. Marking a significant, incredibly significant, guys, achievement towards simplifying this process for organizations to manage their facilities and their assets, securely in a cloud-based solution. For those that may be unaware, on the call, FedRAMP stands for Federal Risk and Authorization Management Program. It's a government-wide initiative that promotes the adoption of secure cloud services. Provides a standardized approach across security and risk assessment for cloud technologies, ensuring federal agencies operate within the highest security standards. Now, there are multiple levels of environments or security for FedRAMP, and Archibus is going through the FedRAMP moderate process currently. Now, again, let's dive in directly here into this approach by looking at a little bit more of the value proposition around, a FedRAMP environment. Our approach is to deliver significant value through innovation and constant innovation by providing easily consumable technology that's a best-in-class solution option for federal government agencies. By providing a FedRAMP certified solution, we should be able to accelerate the adoption of cloud technology and not only provide value from a reduction of operational costs, asset visibility, et cetera, all those usual value nuggets that you hear and are used to with Archibus, but also meet all the federal government security standards across the board. Now, the business value is clearly important, but maybe not as important as customer trust. Simply said, by meeting FedRAMP moderate requirements and demonstrating the investment by Eptura and the commitment to the Archibus for Government solution, Eptura becomes one of the most trusted providers in the market for these worktech type solutions. And I wanted just to highlight a few of those on this slide. So many of you on this webinar may know Archibus as a CAFM system, computer-aided facility management system, and that's where our roots began, and then obviously spread. I know this is a bit of an eye chart, and that text is really small, so you probably can't read it, but I wanted to highlight just a couple of these where worktech solutions, where Archibus can be of significant benefit to any organization, really. And again, I'll just review a few. Desk and meeting room booking. Desk and meeting room booking today is one of the highest requests that we get for our software. Right now, the average desk occupancy rate in government offices is around 60%. Average meeting room utilization rate in the government offices is around 40%. Rolling over to sustainability, government agencies have achieved, on average, energy consumption reduction of 15 to 20% through sustainability initiatives. That's fantastic. However, there's a lot more to go. Rolling down to asset utilization. Effective asset utilization strategies can increase asset productivity by 10 to 15% in government organizations. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 10 to 15% across millions of assets equates to a significant savings and significant efficiency gains. And again, space utilization, I'll foot stomp on this one just one more time because it seems to be one of the most key areas of interest right now. Is, common areas in government facilities have an average utilization rate of about 30%. Average office space utilization rate in government buildings is approximately 50%. Those could stand to be significantly higher and improve and increase efficiency and cost effectiveness across the board. So where are we today? So we are in the final stretch, folks, of the Eptura FedRAMP journey. This timeline kind of highlights where we've been since about the middle of August or so. But let me just clearly state that it has been a long journey, to get to where we are today. And I'm just going to cut to the chase. There are some efforts here that are ongoing, and they're happening in parallel. You'll see we have a SAR assessment going on by our. There's a SAR audit going on happening between August and November. We expect that to wrap up here shortly, actually, hopefully ahead of schedule. The VA review of our SSP and SAR audit report is actually ongoing now. And at the end of the day, we are fully expecting to have an authorization to operate, an ATO letter in place with a marketplace designation on the FedRAMP marketplace in October of this year, October of 2024. And with that, I've said a lot of words. Do we have any questions?
Michael, this is Jeff. We have some questions in the chat, and if I can give you the first one to review. The first is, I'm an existing Archibus customer. What's the level of effort required to migrate to a FedRAMP environment?
That's a great question. And, quite honestly, probably not the best person to answer that, but it's going to depend a fair bit. Our FedRAMP environment, as you're aware, in any FedRAMP environment, it is customizable, similar to your current environments, but with restrictions. So we would have to sit down with you and evaluate your deployment with your business partner. If you have an existing business partner that you're working with, we'd have to evaluate that deployment and determine if any customizations that you currently have can migrate forward, what types of data that you have, which versions you're on. So as you can see, there's a number of data points that would have to be discovered in order to be able to truly answer that. But in general, if there aren't a lot of customizations and configurations, it's like migrating to, the next iteration of Archibus.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. The next question that just came in is, how will the pricing structure change?
Good question. So pricing structure for FedRAMP is going to be priced similarly to our SaaS pricing. There will be an uplift for the FedRAMP environment, as you can imagine, but it'll be priced based on square footage instead of applications and concurrent use like your on-prem solutions are today.
Excellent. Thank you. The next question is, are there any special security requirements for my staff or my contractor to manage Archibus and FedRAMP?
Great question. No, there are not. So that said, though, there is a boundary that your staff and your contractors will not be able to cross for the environment. So Eptura will have cleared staff to operate that environment and operate the sort of the back end beyond the boundary in FedRAMP. But everything that any contractor would normally do in any type of normal deployment will be accessible to those contractors and your staff.
Excellent. Thank you. And then the last question I see right now is, what would timelines be if I wanted to buy now?
Oh, that's a great question. So there is we are going, as I stated, we are going through sort of the final kick here of getting our ATO. We do have a path to purchase now. So we actually can deploy in the FedRAMP environment today with waiver. So if you are an agency that requires FedRAMP solution, we can go forward with deploying that for you today, but there will need to be some documentation in place that, a waiver basically that states that you understand that there's, will be a gap between now and October before we are fully ATO'd and fully certified, and that there's an acceptance of that risk.
Excellent. Thank you. That concludes, I don't believe there's any further questions right now. So I believe that concludes our Q&A. And with that, we can wrap up today's webinar. We do appreciate everybody for attending today. If you would like more information, please visit eptura.com and also visit dlt.com for all things TD SYNNEX public sector. Thanks again for attending today. We hope you enjoyed the webinar. Oh, we have a late question here, Michael, if you've got another moment.
Sure.
Do we work with business partners on pricing or information or Archibus directly?
Great question. Yes, you can work with your business partner and the business partner can work with us. So absolutely. The business partner is aware, the business partners are aware of this, and they can help you get pricing for that today.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that.
Sure.
All right. And I do believe that wraps it up. Again, everybody, thank you for attending today. We appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to speaking with you in the future. Everybody have a nice day today. Bye-bye.
Thanks all.